Hello, this is Heather from Stamps Paper Love. Today I have a scrapbooking process video for you that I hope inspires you to tell your own stories. If you're interested in more scrapbooking inspiration, be sure to subscribe to my channel and follow the links in the video description to find me on Instagram and Facebook. So, this layout that I'm doing today, this was for the theme for December for Traci Reed Designs on her blog. And so I am a little bit behind in the whole voiceovering and posting the video process, unfortunately. December was a little bit of a difficult month for me. I was sick with a cold of some kind for like the first 2 to 3 weeks of December. And I was coughing so badly. I would have these fits of coughing where I wasn't really sure that I was going to recover very well. So I didn't really want to get into a voiceover and have to deal with the coughing. So I just kind of put it off. And so here it is, January 2023. And I'm finally getting around to voicing over a couple of videos that I did at the beginning of December, end of November even. Anyway, this one was for a family theme. So I have a family photo that was taken a couple years ago of my brother, sister, their families, my mom, and her. At the time, he was her fiance, but now he is her husband. And we had gotten together in the fall and did a photo shoot. And so this is just kind of one of my favorites from that photo shoot. And I'm deciding how to put it together using Traci Reed's My Person collection, which is kind of a love collection for more like for couples and Valentine's, that kind of thing. But I really love the colors in it and decided to kind of just make it work for the situation. And here I'm just trying to decide how I want the background to look. I tried to use a couple other sheets of paper with some different patterns, and in the end I just decide to settle on the plaid, and the photo is matted on a green leaf paper, and I don't know, it just seemed like it was going to be plenty. The background is a weathered wood grain that's kind of white, obviously. And then I created the title on with my silhouette. I had seen this quote, I don't know, quite a while ago, and I just decided that I really liked it a lot and wanted to use it for a layout. And so it just says family, where life begins and love never ends. And originally I'd wanted the family to kind of go across the photo a little bit horizontally, but it just ended up fitting a little bit better in that sideways orientation. So I got my title affixed to the page, and now it's just a matter of finding all the right little bits and pieces to embellish with. And there are lots of things to work with in every one of Traci Reed's kits, so I really enjoy playing with things and figuring out how it's all going to work. I'm in the early stages of trying to figure out how to use the print and cut features on my silhouette. I've used it to cut out a lot of cut files, but the print and cut is kind of a new process to me, and I actually cut this one out, and I wasn't thrilled with it. Something in the silhouette software was not working quite as well as I would have liked it. So it did print and cut okay, which is great, but some of the elements are a little bit, I guess, blurry. They're not as crisp as I would like them. So that's kind of a bummer, but I will definitely get it figured out. I've downloaded a previous version of the software, and I got a better print from that, but now I'm having to tweak some things to get it to cut out accurately, which, you know, these tools are so awesome, and I love to be able to use all these tools, but when they aren't working to your liking, it's definitely a real big pain. But anyway, this one worked out, and it cut it well, and I didn't really have to worry about it too much. So I'm just adding some banner bits and some Hearts, there's lots of hearts on the layout, to go with the love never ends portion of the theme. And just a lot of different little accents. And in fact, I'm looking at the layout now, the end layout. That upper right corner doesn't really look anything like that, so I must eventually change it up completely. Which is part of the fun of the hobby, is just being able to spend some time playing with paper and figuring out what you like and how you want it to come together and all of that good stuff. So this little corner has a couple of label tabs, well, a label. It actually says dated on it, and I didn't even put the date there. So I guess you don't need to use it for what it's intended for, right? But it's just got a little heart, strip of hearts on it, and there's a little tab that says we were together. I forget the rest. I mean, that kind of sums up most family gatherings. You spend some time together, hopefully enjoyable time, and you don't necessarily always remember the specific details of the moments, but you had a good time, and we had a pretty good time with this photo shoot. Getting thrown together. There are some great florals in this kit, so I definitely added a lot of florals to the cluster that I'm working on right now with the tag, and I end up adding a few in each of the other clusters as well. And I use my little Tim Holtz stapler quite often to staple things together. It just gives it a little added dimension and interest on your page. So I did use the stapler in a couple of different locations on the layout. It's probably kind of hard to see on the video, but it all comes together pretty nicely. The great thing about these kits that Traci does is that everything coordinates so beautifully, and you have all these pieces that you can use, and you really can't go wrong when you're picking out things that you want to use. It's just a matter of finding what fits in the space that you've got. And I kept just layering and layering and layering and putting all kinds of great little things on top of each other, and trying to kind of balance the colors a little bit, and just, oh, I have some pink over here and I don't have anything pink here. What am I going to put? So then I'm adding these arrows on. The arrows go kind of nicely with the arrow from that silhouette cut for the word love at the bottom. And so I was trying to find arrows that worked well. There's a bunch of them in this sticker page. So definitely there were a lot to choose from. There's a little circle here that I'm adding on. It says love this. Just some little touches here and there to really drive the whole love feeling home. And I think overall it turns out pretty great. I really enjoyed making it. Here we go, putting together that next corner. And again, this one I don't change a whole lot from what was there. I'm just kind of adhering the little bits together and putting them on the corner in between the parts of the title. I add on a floral. I don't think I leave that heart on. Probably should have, so it would cover up the where it says dated where I didn't date it. I do usually add a date onto the layout, and it doesn't look like that I've done that yet. A lot of times what I'll do is, if I don't really have a place on the front where I want to put it, then I will just flip over to the back, and usually I list who's pictured in the photos on the back of the layout, and then when I created the layout, and date it that way. Because I don't know, that to me is kind of important. I don't know how many times I've looked at photos at my grandmother's house or somewhere, and you just don't always know who all of the people are in the photos. And so I think it's kind of important to make sure that that is listed somewhere on the layout, even if it's not visible on the front, or or somewhere where it's easy to read it right away. But for most of mine, if you flip them over, you'll see who's in the photos. If it's my kids, I usually try to ballpark the age that they were in the photos, because I don't have any, chronological order to my scrapbooking. I just scrapbook what I feel like scrapbooking. So I could be scrapbooking a baby photo of my daughters, or I could be scrapping something from their senior year in high school or even into college. I mean, it really doesn't have any rhyme or reason what I decide to work on. So you just never know what I'm going to be doing. And that way, if I write on the back of it, then I have kind of that record of how old they were. And, sometimes I'll add some extra journaling on the back if there's part to the story that maybe I want them to read someday, but not necessarily something that I want left on the layout when somebody flips through an album and looks at it. So this one I haven't done that with yet, so I need to make sure that I add all those details on there because my niece and nephew are in here, and it'd be nice to have their ages on there. I don't put the ages of the adults for the most part, because who knows how old most of them are. I'd have to do math every time, and I'm not down for that. But just kind of nice to at least have a date year-wise, so looking back you can kind of know when those things occurred. There's my stapler again, adding a few little more staples to it just to give it a little bit more dimension and interest. And I'm just about wrapping it up. Here's the stills. I thank you for watching, and I hope you found the video helpful in some way or inspiring at the very least. Definitely like the video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you for another video, probably fairly soon because I have another December video to add the video voiceover to later. Thank you.